Death da, Obi Nagan. Welcome to podcast number 176. So since last time, I think on last Friday we did have a couple of funerals there at Glyn Valley, then went into the weekend, which was a complete weekend of work, calls and paperwork, just trying to catch up really. But I did have the evening off on Sunday evening. With me and me mates, we went to the pictures, as we call it. Others these days call it the cinema. But back when we were kids, we called it the pictures. So there was Phil. Phil arranged it, I think. Phil with Al, Brian, Terry, and Char. I nearly forgot Char. I knew there was one more. I did put a photo on our personal Facebook page. And it was to watch a film. It was a documentary, and it was called The Lost Boys of Carbis Bay. Now, it's a documentary about, there's a gang of chaps down there. Well, they said there's quite a few of them, really, but they don't all go at the same time. The Carbis Bay crew. And what they do, they go actually down into old, closed-down mining shafts and mines and everything. And they go through all the tunnels and looking down into the shafts and everything. And they find it mentally, and that they do find it inspiring. There's a great camaraderie there with them all, and they do find it helps in so many ways. And it was a hang of interesting documentary. It was only half hour long, but they took the cameras down these shafts. I mean, some of the mines, it was fantastic. I mean, you're looking. They was actually saying the mines they went down, some of them was shut 100 years ago, 150 years ago. Amazing, really. And the one thing that I thought is that surely every year, as time goes on, it's going to be more dangerous going down them. Because, like, they had timber propping up some of the tunnels and that. Well, surely that timber is rotting away. It's bound to get more dangerous. But it was fascinating, to talk to some of the crew and to hear about their life stories and how this helps them. And then also it was brilliant just to see like the shafts, the tunnels. I wish they'd shown more of that, really. Absolutely fantastic. And after the film, there was the director, I think, the chap that thought about it. There was a couple of their filmmakers anyway. Sorry about that. And there was three from the crew there as well. So it was a question and answer. And like one of them said, we go down today and we've got head torches that just lights it all up. But when you think 100 years ago, 150 years ago, the Cornish miners going down underground, all they had was their miners' helmets with a candle on. So they could only just see a foot or two in front of them. And the work they did, the tools they had back then, it was really inspiring, but it was full of admiration for these Cornish miners, I tell you. So it was a brilliant film, absolutely brilliant. If you go on Facebook, Carbis Bay Crew, they got a fantastic page there. You'll see the photos, the films. I followed them for quite a while now. Absolutely fantastic. 'Tis well worth looking into. I think the film was only in selected cinemas, but they're hoping that it will get, more publicity and more people will be able to watch it. So then going into Monday, we did have a couple of funerals there at Glyn Valley on Monday for Jane and John, both people from Bodmin. Lovely services there, again, well attended. And then we had a lovely crowd again for Sylvia on Tuesday. A lovely service, and like I say, a lovely crowd there too. Wednesday again, I spent all day at Glyn Valley practically. I left at 9:30 in the morning, and I didn't get back home till about 3:00. We had a private service to start off with. Then we had another service for Alan, which again the chapel was full, and then after that we had Michael's funeral. And Mike, Tintagel born and bred, through and through Tintagel. And, well, the people there, it was amazing. It was unfortunate because the car park was pretty full for the funeral before we arrived. And then obviously our funeral, it was massive as well. So it was a bit chaotic there for a while. But it just showed how well respected Mike was in Tintagel and around the surrounding area. So, yeah, it was a sad goodbye to Mike, but one that I know he would have loved to see all those people there. And I had a phone call from the hearse driver, from Phil, on the way to the funeral, because there was an accident in the Allen Valley. The hearse was going to the house, so he had to cut back and cut across country. So all these things, you knew that there's going to be people there also that might have got stuck the other side of the accident. And you've got to think on your feet a bit, really. But at the end of the day, everything was fine. We've had so much rain lately. I did put a photo on me private Facebook page, my personal one, shall I say? It's in private, it's public, on my personal Facebook page of the car park there at Clym Valley, because we had a downpour and there was a hang of a puddle there in the middle. So I used my chat GPT and just superimposed, I suppose is the word. It looked like the Black Pearl, I think it was, the Captain Jack Sparrow's pirate ship. And I kind of did a little caption to say, I'm not saying the puddle's bad here, but look what I've just found in it. Going back to the weekend, one thing I forgot to mention, as you all know, we've now got solar panels on the chapel. So quite often I'm checking how much electric we're using and perhaps how much we're generating, which if we get a nice sunny day, it is pretty impressive. But the week we've had, it hasn't done much this week, I tell you. But normally we're spending, well, at any time between a kilowatt and perhaps 4 kilowatt. Perhaps if Neil's cleaning the cars, we don't use chamois or sponges or anything, and he actually blow dries them, and that will put it up to perhaps 7 kilowatts. Well, I woke up, I think it was Saturday morning, and I looked at my phone and it was 25 kilowatts was being burnt. I couldn't believe it. I thought that can't be right. So I turned my phone off and checked again 5 minutes later, still 25 kilowatts. So I messaged Days, because Days lives in the old Sunday school there. And she said, oh, we ain't using anything, because obviously it all goes through the same thing. So anyway, with that, Neil had popped into work to meet somebody. And he sent me a message. He said, have you been in work today? I said, no, I am. He said, well, the air circulating machine is on. So we've got, it kind of extracts the air, brings in new air. We got one in the mortuary. So he said, I turned it off. So I looked at my app and it had gone down from 25 kilowatt to 20. So still hang of a too much we were spending. Well, then I turned up at work then just as he was leaving to do me paperwork for the day. And he said, oh, I was just going to text you again. I went to lock the front door and I heard it. And I remembered that we've also got a unit in our chapel. So for those of you that don't know, we've got a little chapel in our building. It was an old Methodist church and it sits about 80 people. And the air circulator was in there going as well. So he turned that off. So I checked then and it was still burning 13 kilowatts. And this had been going all night. So he'd gone then. So, of course, I walked around the building. I could hear it again. And I'd forgot that upstairs, we got a function room upstairs so we can have a wake up there. Or if there's more than 80 people at the funeral, they can watch the service on the TV. And there's a air circulation unit up there as well. So turned that one off and everything was fine. Well, we worked out afterwards that we'd actually had a power cut. And that must have kicked it in. So it was going all night, spending 25 kilowatts. Oh, it broke my heart. Broke me blooming heart. And another thing that happened this week as well. I don't know where had I been over work again? Oh, yeah, that's right. I'd been up Tresparrow because we got a funeral up that way next week. And I come back and my boy James, our oldest boy, he sent me a message. He said, are you gone bed yet? I said, no, I'm just going because I had a late night working. He said, go outside. So I went outside and looked at the sky and we had the most fantastic northern lights down here in Wadebridge and area, obviously Padstow, wherever. 'twasn't the best where I was because it was a bit foggy, but I did take a photo. But going on Facebook the day after, I mean, some people that they took fantastic photos, 100 times better than me. The colours in the sky was brilliant. And we had it the next day as well. Twin so good the second night, but 'twas still quite impressive. So we've had the Northern Lights here in Wadebridge. So then we had more funerals Thursday at Glyn Valley, including Frank's and Sue. Sue we've known for a few years now, dear of her. Both of them again all went perfectly well. Everything was good. And then 'twas on to today, Friday, with an early start. We had a private service 9:00 in the morning for an old bridger. Just family, but it was lovely. It was very intimate. It was brilliant. And then we was down Perthilly for dear Phil's funeral. I will put some photos on, hopefully, because I did take some photos today of the inside of St. Michael's Church. Because whenever we're down Perthilly, I always take a picture of the beach looking out to sea over towards Padstow. So today I did take photos of inside of the church. So I'll try and remember to put they on in the next few days. And then after that, we had Paul's funeral, again in Glyn Valley, and the weather is absolutely terrible here. We're suffering at the minute from Storm Ingrid, which is it, Cornwall, and we got a 24-hour weather warning. And we was going into Glyn Valley, and Julia from the office rung. She said, just to let you know, Jeremy had been on the phone from Glyn Valley, and they got a power cut. They got no electric. So we get in there. I mean, it was a big funeral because Paul was a couple of years older than me, I think. Somebody I've known for a good few years now, kind of through his work and everything. And, Karen, the manager, said, well, we got an option. You can carry on if you want, or we can see if we could reschedule. But I think that option was out of the window, really, because people come down from Liverpool, from all over, to come, to the funeral for Paul. So we decided we would carry on with no music. We had no electric at all. Luckily, we didn't have to have a live stream, or we didn't have a video tribute or anything. So we went into silence, out to silence, which was quite nice, really. I must admit, a bit of change. And then we sang the hymns a cappella. But it was definitely a funeral. Like I said to Elaine, I ain't ever going to forget this funeral. And she said, I think Paul would like that. But we did laugh in the eulogy, because they did say one time, because he lived up St. Teth, one time up there, he was out the back and he was sawing through a pipe. And what he didn't realise was the main electricity supply. And the next thing, there was a bang, and I think he was thrown about 10 foot up the drive, and I think he cut the power in half of St. Teth by doing it. So it was almost appropriate that today, for his funeral, we had no electric again. So I think he had the last say. One other thing I was going to mention, I forgot about. I won't do it now, but I'll do it next week, hopefully. Carl, he got in touch and he sent me lovely photos from over in Mexico. So hopefully talk about that next week, because I thought, seeing that obviously Paul, the funeral I've just talked about, lived in St. Teth, it kind of rolls into who my interview is for this week and next week, maybe the week after too. I'll see how it goes. And that's Lorraine. And Lorraine lives there in St. Teth, and I did pop up to see her this week, her and David. I've been meaning to do it for a couple of months. Every time I see him, I see her, are you free next week? I'll give you a ring. And of course, we've been that busy. I haven't got round to it. But at last I did. So I popped up this week. I had a lovely chat with Lorraine. I'm sure you'll love it. So I'll speak to her now. No, I won't. I've already spoke to her. I'll play it now. I'll play the interview now. And then I'll speak to her after. So here it is. Get on, Lorraine. How be knacking?
I'm knacking fine, thank you, David.
Foodie, I got here at last.
At last, yes.
It took me about 2 months, but I got here.
Good.
So it's lovely to pop up and see you pair.
Ah.
So, should I start at the very beginning? Shall
Okay.
I? Okay, where you was born, mother and father?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I was born at Chapel Amble, 1947. My father was Wilfred Burt, and mother was Joyce Goodman. Married my father, Wilfred Burt.
Right.
So I was born in Grand's Cottage, which is now the left-hand side of the Maltster's Arms, because back then it was 2 cottages.
Right, I see.
Now, I'll just digress a moment, because years ago, back in the 14th century, the right-hand side of the pub was a bawdy house.
Oh.
There was actually 2 pubs in Amble. The other one was across the road, across the green there.
Yeah, I know.
And they used to spar with each other, shouting obscenities across from each other. Now, the river was tidal, so the barges used to come up and bring the ladies of the night. And unfortunately, the pub had got such a bad name for itself that it was closed down. The Squire of Lower Amble, Mr. Charles Menhennick, he said, and I quote, "It was a den of iniquity and the cause of much rowdyism and bad behaviour."
Oh, dear. Oh, hang.
So it was closed down. And then, fortunately, rushing on to 1960, somebody applied for a licence and got it, which is now the new Maltster's Arms.
Yeah.
So I'll go back to 1947.
Yeah.
So, born in Grand's Cottage. Now, my husband David's mother was the district nurse, Nurse Lobb, and she lodged at St. Hugh Highway. She brought my 2 elder sisters into the world, but by the time I was born, she had retired. So I was brought into the world by Miss Martin, who was the lady of the village. Right. So she brought people into life, and she also laid them out.
Yes. Yeah.
I had a wonderful childhood. It was so happy. We had a chapel which Miss Daisy Wills ran.
Right.
So we had anniversaries, we had outings, going around carol singing. It was truly amazing. And the shop, well, 2 Miss Nicholses, Gwen and Erica, they ran the shop. They were very old-fashioned, and we used to laugh at them, really, and call them the Black Stocking Gang. I could never find out their religion. I did ask Gwen once, was she the Plymouth Brethren? And she said, "No, I am not. We haven't got a name."
All right.
But they were kind to us children, but they sold everything in that shop. And it stayed as it was until recently, when unfortunately it's on the market.
I was going to ask, is it the same shop?
Yes.
Right.
And also, the people that owned it kept it very similar.
Yeah.
But it's on the market, which is a great pity, but things move on, don't they?
Yeah.
So anyway, unfortunately now, we've only got 5 locals living in Amble, which is Rosemary Kent, Jackie Burt, which is my cousin, Andrew Hawke over at the farm, and Anne Hill. So that's 4. Yeah. And that's the only locals left, the real locals that are left in the village.
Yeah.
But it's progress, isn't it? And things, move on.
Yeah.
So I stayed there until I was about 16.
So where did you go school to then?
I went to school at St. Hugh first, walking from Chapel Amble. Right. Sometimes walking out to Rook Farm and getting a lift with the Riskellies.
Ah, yeah.
And then I went to Weybridge Comprehensive.
Yeah.
I think we only had 2 buses a week running through Amble, where we could go to the pictures at Weybridge.
Yeah.
So I knew David roughly at school. He was a prefect, and if I went up the stairs 2 at a time, he'd make me go right down the bottom. Anyway, he had left school, but when I got older, I was confirmed because I was christened Church of England, and I used to go to the church youth club at St. Hugh. And Reverend Paget, he used to come down in his Riley sports car and pick Isabel Worden and myself up to go to the youth club. Right. And that's where David and I started courting.
So where's David come from then?
David, he was born at Treadwell Farm,
Ah, right.
which is a lovely manor house.
Yeah.
A part of it is 1317. Belonged to Major Mager.
Oh, I remember him.
David's father was the tenant.
Yeah, I see.
And then Major Mager's daughter married a Hoblin.
Yeah.
So it belongs to the Hoblins now.
Is that at the top of the three-way?
That's right.
After St. Cuy Way?
And they now have a monthly farmers market.
Yeah, yeah.
And they are living in the house themselves.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But it was a grand old house, and David's mother took in many a visitor. And they'd come back year after year because they just loved it, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Dave and I courted for, I think it was 5 years. When I left school, I went to work at a shop in Weybridge, Chapman's Brothers, upstairs with Dorothy Drabble in the ladies' department.
Right.
And I loved it. Mr. Chapman, he was an antique dealer. So around the shop was a lot of antiques, chandeliers, you went up the stair, great big mirrors, portraits of people. And I truly loved it. And then after a few years, I went across the road and worked for Eric Paul in the shoe shop.
Yeah.
Another lovely boss.
Was that Moser Street then?
That's Molesworth Street.
Yeah.
Because Willicotts are in Chapman's now.
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
And Eric Paul was across the road. And I worked with Monica Bragg in the shoe shop.
Yeah.
And that was a very happy time.
Yeah.
As children, we used to have St. James's Fete at St. Q. Now, that was a real special day. Always had a new frock, free teas for all the children, races, sideshows, pony rides. Really amazing. And in the evening, we had a dance in the church hall with Anita Singer's band.
Yes, yeah.
So that finished off the day. Which was
quite
really
a big
lovely.
event, wasn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
It was. And one year, I think I was only about 4 or 5, that Princess Chula of Chakabonzi, who was living at Tridethe, was coming to open the fete. And my sister Wendy was supposed to present them with a bouquet, but she was too scared. So
you did
I did it many years ago.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, following on from work, David used to play rugby for the Camels. So he used to play rugby on a Saturday and then come and meet me after work on, and we'd go in Cozy Cafe for something to eat, and then off to the pictures, and then come out and have a bag of chips from Lang's.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant.
I learned to drive on his mini pickup 904 TAF.
Oh, get away.
Yeah, I passed my test on that one.
Did it? Yeah.
So anyway, we had a flat we got married 1967. Reverend Mackenzie married us, St. Q Church, and we had our reception in Weybridge Town Hall. And what was the lady called that did the reception? She lived she was up Hamilton House. But it'll come back to me in a minute. Yeah. Anyway, she did the reception, and believe it or not, we flew from Exeter to Jersey for our honeymoon. Miss Glassam did the reception.
Ah, yes, yeah.
Well, that was our first experience of flying in this small plane.
Yeah.
And we went to Jersey for our honeymoon. But we had they allowed us to have a flat in the farmhouse when we got married first. And so we lived in the farmhouse for a few years and then eventually had a cottage up in the village.
Right.
And then Sarah came along. She was born 69 and then Andrew at 1972.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, David's mum and dad were getting elderly, and we ended up going back the farm to live to look after them, basically.
Yeah.
So we stayed there, and When David's father died, he'd been a tenant for 60 years at Treadwell. The landlords didn't want to tie up another tenancy. So we came up here having searched everywhere for something to do. We were 40. What were we going to do? And bought this bungalow in 6.5 acres and started a little nursery.
Yeah.
Anyway, the children grew away, went to Weybridge School, and then college down at Camborne. Unfortunately, Andrew, he got MS when he was 23. But he could work in between bouts of illnesses. But at 30, he passed away. So that changed our life greatly.
Yeah.
So anyway, we started this nursery, didn't have a lot of money. So we started with one tunnel.
Yeah. And you called it Brew Allen?
Brew Allen, because David grew Elizabethan primroses. And I was at Royal Cornwall, and I went to the Radio Cornwall tent and said, "What's the Cornish for primrose?"
Yeah.
And they said, "I think it's pronounced really Bray Allen."
Yeah.
So we named it Brew Allen.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So we started off with one tunnel, growing stuff, and I'd go out to Carbis coffee morning selling. And then we had 2 tunnels. And then my cousin put up a wood shop. So like Topsy, it started to grow a little bit. Well, then this young lady called Elaine Brummel came along. And she said, "Can I come on work experience?" And I said, "Yes." So she came on work experience and we got on well. "Can I come and work for you?" I said, "Well, Elaine, I'm not really just a florist," because before that, I had actually done a floristry course with Jane Adele at Truro. Right. So I got into floristry, and that was our main earner.
Yeah.
So I said, "Go away and work for a florist." So she went away. She came back. "No, I want to come and work for you." So I said to David, "Can we afford her?" Oh. So anyway, we took her on, and she was a star.
Yeah.
We got on well. People thought she was my daughter, and she was with us 8 years. And of course, when Andrew became so ill and we were trying to look after him and run a business, she just took over. So she was a godsend.
Yeah. Such a hard worker as well, isn't she?
She is. Yeah. And as you know, David, her floristry is absolutely excellent.
Yeah, yeah.
If she was adventurous and went to London, she could have really...
Yeah, made it.
Yes,
yeah.
She could have.
Yeah.
I think she's the best florist in Cornwall.
Yeah, she's good.
She's really, really good. So, after Andrew died, that really shook us. But by that time, our daughter had married, Sarah, and we've got 2 beautiful grandchildren, all grown up. Our daughter lives at Treadwell, works at Treelisk, and our 2 grandchildren, one's at Redruth and one's at Probus.
Right.
So fortunately, we've got them here in Cornwall.
Yeah.
So we do see them,
yeah.
Not on a regular basis, but special occasions and when they can find time to come and see us. So anyway, after Andrew died, that really shakes you. And we decided we would hang up our boots. So I said to Elaine, "What are you going to do, Elaine? Shall I buy a new cabin and have a shop where the old one is?" "Oh, I've seen a property in Delabole," she said. So we went and had a look, and she bought the floristry business office, and that's how she started her business in Delabole.
Yeah.
We were fortunate enough to get planning for some affordable housing where our car park was. And,
right.
And we've got a lovely mixture of people, young people with children, people that are retired. So we're very, very fortunate.
Yeah, definitely.
And our village, we're very involved with the church. It was WI, but we've disbanded and we now call ourselves the Joybirds.
All right, brilliant. I like that.
So we meet once a month and have various speakers. Also, David started the garden show with a friend. So we have a garden show once a month, and once a year. And we encourage people to show, produce, cooking, the longest carrot, the biggest onion, etc., etc.
And I'll just say, for anyone listening that don't know, we're talking about the village of St. Teth. And that's St. Teth.
Oh, yes, don't forget it's St. Teth.
Yeah.
There's nowhere like it, really. Also, we did get very involved with the panto.
All right.
David always played the joker.
Yeah.
I was the more serious one, but we really got involved with that until I just couldn't remember my lines, David.
Oh, no.
The last one I was in, I think I was Biggles.
Right.
And I had to keep moving my moustache, but I had to keep saying to the prompt. I just couldn't remember. And the audience was laughing at me. So I thought, it's time for me to stop.
Yeah.
So I stopped the panto. But we support where we can.
Yeah.
And it continues.
Yeah, brilliant.
There'll be one on now soon. They're rehearsing.
Yeah.
So that's good. So here we are, nearly 80, David, and enjoying life as much as we can.
Yeah.
And like I say, involved in the village. There's a little group of us ladies. We meet in the cafe or the pub on a Saturday morning. And we started that when it was COVID because a few of them wouldn't see anybody for the day.
No.
So we decided we'd go and have a coffee.
Yeah.
So sometimes we could be 8, 10, 12 of us.
Oh.
Chattering away, having a cup of coffee of a Saturday morning.
Brilliant, yeah.
So, but the community spirit of the village, I think, has, definitely helped us through our lives, hasn't it, David? Yeah. When we had our hardship with Andrew dying, and they just supported us all the way through.
Yeah.
So we're very blessed.
Exactly.
Very blessed.
Yeah. And I think we'll finish it there for this week, and we'll have more next week. So thank you, Lorraine. I mean, we know St. Teth. We care for a lot of families up there. And I must say, it is a lovely village, lovely community spirit. And, I can only echo Lorraine's sentiments there of what a lovely little village it is, looking after friends and neighbours in their time of need. So for me, Cornish word this week, I think I'm going to do the word for sky, because for a couple evenings, half of us in Cornwall was out in our gardens gawking up at the sky. So that's what I'm going to do this week. So the Cornish word for sky is Ebron. Ebron. And I remembered now how to spell it. Ebron. Ebron. And my dialect, I don't know if this is just Cornish or no, and also I don't know if I've used it before. No, I don't think I have. But if somebody's bad-tempered, if they, what should I say, little bit, I was going to say the word then, if they are bad-tempered, a bit wound up, you say they'm teasy, or teasy's a snake, which is really teasy as a snake. But of course, down here in Cornwall, we do flatten the vowels a bit. So you say, teasy's a snake. Or another one is, teasy's a fuzz adder. Teasy is a fuzz adder. So that's me dialect for this week. Right, well, there we go. That's another week gone. It just flew by. I haven't got a clue where it went. Weekend, we're trying to do, I've got to do a bit of paperwork, and also I've got to try and sort out our export tariff for our solar panels, because the company we have our electric with, they don't do export. And I've got to get that sussed before the nice weather comes, because that'll obviously help pay for the panel. So that's part of my jobs this week anyway. But anyway, that's enough of me. I hope you all have a lovely weekend and a good week next week. And I will speak to you again next week. So wish you well. Do Guinness. Carno Bisfican.